Hello, and today I'm here reviewing Friction by KCL Bond. First off, I love this cover. Is this not just a gorgeous cover? So pretty. So pretty. Anyway, that being said, we find out in this book that we actually found out in the last book that there is a cure. And Saul is kind of out of the picture. And Tage is pretty much sticking by our main character. And it's really, this is a beautiful book, but there is still a lot of conflict. And that conflict takes place when they are trying to get the word out about the cures for the infected and for the Nightwalkers. So we see our main character, and she kind of goes through feelings of being alone in this book. And that's because she's found out that she can cure everybody else, but she can't cure herself. She is incurable. And that causes a lot of internal conflict. We also have a new element added in this book, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. I'm quite excited to read the next book, which is called Fraud. And I'm working on that now, but I'm only like 3 pages in. So it might take me a while. This one, to me, did take me longer to read than the previous 3 books. And I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. I think that it's just, this is one of those books that you read it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to set it down and I have to think about how I would feel if I was in this situation. It's a very thought-provoking book. It's a very emotional book to read. And I have to say that there are some characters that I loved in this book, and there are some that I hated. For example, I loved Maggie, and I loved Tage, and I, of course, loved Portia, and I even gained a little bit more of a respect quality to Mercedes. And I don't know why. I really don't. But I kind of have always kind of liked the bad guy. And by the bad guy, I mean the head honcho vampire. I can't remember if it's Roland or Ronald or whatever. But I've always liked him, and in this book, he just seems so funny, and I love the way he's written about, because he is a very controversial character, and he's fun to read. Like, he's fun to read, and what I mean by controversial is he is a very Lestat type of character. If you read Anne Rice, you know who Lestat is, and you know that he's a bad guy, but he has his reasons for doing what he does, and he doesn't really care what anybody else thinks, and that's kind of endearing, and that's kind of how I feel about this character. So, I give this book 5 out of 5. I think that it is a really, really great book. It is not, to me, as entertaining as book 3. Book 3 to me was the highest point so far, but this is a very close second, and I think that it's the right step after book 3, because Frequency was fast-paced, it was entertaining, there was lots of surprises. This book is more like, you see the characters struggle more. You get more in depth into their characters. So it's really great. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.